In the vastness of the Arabian desert, an extraordinary structure rises up. Ancient, isolated, and mysterious. This is Qasr al-Farid, which in Arabic means the lonely castle. But what was its purpose? Why was it built in such a remote place? And why does it look like construction stopped completely before it was ever finished? And who were the Nabateans, the people responsible for building it and for other impressive engineering feats? Hey everyone, how are you doing? I hope you're doing good. Welcome to the channel World Unlocked. Today we'll dive into the story of al-Farid, or the Lonely Castle, as it's known by locals. And since Arabic isn't our strong suit, we'll keep calling it the Lonely Castle to make the things easier. The Lonely Castle was most likely built to serve as a tomb for an important figure from the Nabatean people. It's located in the ancient Nabatean settlement of Hegra, also known as Madain Salih, which is part of a small town called Al-Ula. The Hegra region has hundreds of Nabatean tombs, and nearly all of them were built in groups. That's what makes this particular tomb so different from the rest. This structure was carefully placed to stand out. It seems the rock was chosen strategically, so it could be seen from a distance. And it's not surrounded by other tombs, like the ones you normally find in the necropolises of that region. That gives this monument a much more imposing presence. This may be one of the largest existing sculptures, since it was carved directly into a single block of stone. Its facade is symmetrical and precise, and it rises about 72 feet tall, roughly the height of a 4-story building. Its decorative details are surprisingly well preserved, with 4 pilasters carved directly into the rock, representing a bold innovation in Nabatean art, since other tombs usually had just 2 pilasters. But who were the Nabateans? Long before there was anything called Saudi Arabia, or any of the many empires that ruled that region, the Nabateans were already masters of engineering and trade. They likely settled in that area around the 5th century BC. That's right, nearly 2,500 years ago. And they built an empire in the middle of the desert, stretching from what is now southern Syria all the way down to Saudi Arabia. These people were skilled traders in spices, incense, and textiles, creating a vast trade network that crossed the desert and connected various cultures of the region. Because of their talent in commerce, they became extremely wealthy and powerful. Perhaps the greatest symbol of their strength is the city of Petra in modern-day Jordan, which is the ultimate representation of Nabatean architecture. The Nabateans didn't just master the art of building, they mastered the art of carving. Using advanced stonework techniques, they sculpted massive tombs from the top down, allowing them to maintain better control and symmetry in the design of the facades. And with the Lonely Castle, that technique is easy to spot. But something stands out in this structure. The upper part is beautifully finished, while the lower portion is still roughly chiseled. This clearly shows that at some point, construction was halted. Maybe war, disease, or economic hardship forced the workers to abandon the project. And thanks to an inscription above the door, we know exactly who it was built for. For Lian, son of Kuza, and his descendants. We don't know exactly who this person was, but we can assume he was someone of great importance. Yet there are still a few questions left unanswered about this monument. First, why build it so far away from the others? Did the owner hope to spend eternity in a quieter place? Or was it some symbolic statement of the time? Or maybe it was just an aesthetic decision based on the unique rock where it was carved. So what do you think? And regarding its purpose, some researchers believe it may have also served as an astronomical marker, because the facade aligns perfectly with the sunset during certain times of the year. Even though there's no solid proof explaining why it was built, All of this just adds to the fascination with this site. But when was this monument discovered? In a way, it was never really forgotten. Although the Nabateans were scattered, that region has always been inhabited by nomadic tribes, and people have always known about the place. However, the tomb and others nearby were mostly avoided because over time, they became associated with ancient infidel peoples known as the Tamuts, a group viewed as idolaters. In fact, the Saudi Arabian government itself once held that same belief. But since Saudi Arabia is now working to diversify its economy, they've started investing heavily in tourism in that region. So they decided to set aside old taboos and promote local tourism. And it all begins in the small town of Al-Ula, which is now drawing tourists, historians, and adventurers from all over the world. So if you want to visit these wonders, you'll need to head to that little town, where you'll find all the infrastructure needed to explore the region's historical sites, and still enjoy the charm of a town with thousands of years of history, that while modernized, still preserves the ruins of its original settlement. In this way, the Lonely Castle has become a visual icon of Saudi Arabia's cultural heritage. And in 2008, the region where it's located, Hegra, was officially recognized by UNESCO as the country's first World Heritage Site, which brought more protection, more funding, and of course, more global visibility. Every year there's a hot air balloon festival called Al-Ula Skies Festival. Visitors can take a ride to see the Hegra archaeological site and admire the breathtaking desert landscape from above. On March 10, 2022, Saudi Arabia entered the Guinness World Records for the largest illuminated hot air balloon show in the world. Now comes the question, why is this tomb called a castle when it never had a military function and doesn't even resemble one? The truth is, the name is nothing more than poetic symbolism. It's simply a way of expressing the grandeur of the project in contrast to its physical solitude. And if you decide to visit during the annual festival held to celebrate the region's ancient culture, you'll witness a high-tech light show that's truly impressive. So the Lonely Castle isn't just some random structure in the desert. It's proof that even in harsh conditions, with determination and skill, it's possible to create extraordinary things that captivate future generations. Did you like this video? So drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with that person you know who loves archaeology and desert mysteries.